to the legends, those who paved our way. In every single chapter, we're here to stay, breaking down plays.
To week 10 of the Chasing the Highlights podcast. My name is Lonnie Washington, and I'm here with Tony Robinson. He's in Texas. I'm in Arizona. How you doing tonight, Tony?
Pretty good. How are you?
Not too bad, man. So it was a interesting week 10. Week 9. It was an interesting week 9 this week, and had a lot of things going on with a lot of upsets, a lot of injuries, things of that nature, and it was just a crazy week, especially if you're a Commanders fan like me. Tonight I'm kind of repping my my Alex Smith jersey, my Alex Smith shirt. And yesterday on my show, Lonnie and Friends, I was repping the RG3 shirt. And this is a good segue. And one of the reasons why I was doing that, because as a fan, I've seen these quarterbacks, RG3, Alex Smith, and everything get hurt on the same field that Jaden Daniels got hurt on Monday night. I'm sure that everybody kind of saw, Sunday night. I'm sure everybody kind of saw what happened with Jaden Daniels. It was totally unfortunate. And, I'll just show it briefly. This was really bad. It was bad. He dislocated his elbow on that play. And I personally know for a fact that this young man should not have been in this game, right? And, I'm starting off with this. It was a blowout game. Seattle came in and wrecked us, 31-point game. And we're down 31.7 minutes left. Jaden Daniels runs off to the right side, kind of gets hit from behind, tackled from behind, and went to brace himself, and his elbow got dislocated. It probably looked worse, and I'm sure it looks worse than what the actual injury is, and thank goodness that it is for this young man and this franchise and the fans. But it just looked awful. And then we got the news that there was just a regular dislocation of the elbow, and that they were waiting for the results to MRI to see if there was any ligament damage. But Tony, we've seen stuff like this from the Commanders, for many, many years. So the question I have is that should Jaden Daniels have been in the game by 30, down by 31 with 7 minutes left in the game? And, Rex Ryan say that he got Mark Sanchez hurt, and that sometimes that these players would like to stay in the game, just to get momentum for the next game and all that, garbage. But what do you think about this?
I don't think he should have been in the game. I mean, you're down by 30. I feel like they set themselves up with this, because this is usually what happens. Like, I was sitting there watching when he was running the ball. I was like, you get down, throw the ball away, get down. Because I can tell, I didn't know it was going to happen. But
yeah.
But when you got your best player losing by 30, why are you scrambling and trying to, make a play? And the game is almost over. I mean, I don't know. 7 minutes left. I don't know if they had a chance to come back, but I feel like
31.
Yeah, I feel like he shouldn't have been. He shouldn't have been in the game, especially with those injuries from prior to. He had the hamstring injury and the knee injury, so I was kind of like, I kind of didn't want him. I think he came back too early too, but he looked pretty good out there. Because we talked about that earlier today. So he played pretty good, but I feel like he shouldn't have been out there down 30. Your best player shouldn't be doing what he was doing, rolling out with 7 minutes to go, like y'all trying to make a comeback. I mean, I don't know. And I know some teams, like you said, they try to get some momentum going into the next game. But if you're doing that, you should be just passing the ball. Don't try to run. Just throw the ball away, or just get down or something. Don't allow somebody to come up under you and take you down. I don't know. I don't play football anymore. We don't play anymore, so we don't know what they're thinking. So
yeah, I mean, I'm hard on Dan Quinn on this, but when a man comes out, he actually came out in the press conference and said, "Hey, that's on me." I wasn't expecting him to. We were supposed to just be running the ball and maybe throwing the ball, but he says essentially what he was saying, and I'm paraphrasing, is that I missed it, and I gotta understand that he's a running quarterback. Anytime he's in the game, he's always a threat to run, even though we want to run or we want to pass the ball. He's always a threat to run because he's always looking to make a play. And he said that he missed it. So I do give him some credit. And I've cooled down a little bit from yesterday on my show. And I'm just gonna run the tape from what I said yesterday on my show, Lonnie and Friends. And just knowing the player, even though that he wants to be out there, Jaden Daniels cannot be out there when you're down 31 points with 7 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Now, let me say this again. To the Commanders team, their staff, their organization. You cannot have your quarterback out there 31 points down, 7 minutes left in the game. There's no reason why he should have been out there at all. So that is that one. And so, now the Commanders, pretty much this season is. So, I was pretty pissed off yesterday, and I just had to get that out and just, to send a message to, hey, whoever might see this podcast, dude. And I think he screwed up, but I just needed to get that because, I couldn't wait till tonight to say it. It was just on my mind the whole time, and it was just a horrible situation for the Commanders fans. And so the Commanders are in big trouble now. I mean, they've got, Jaden Daniels is a significant injury. He'll probably miss 4 to 6 weeks. And now the bigger question is always going to be is, you've got, essentially 7 or 8 weeks left in the season, and Daniels, this might not knock him out totally for the whole season. But I'm thinking, Tony, I'll ask you this question too, is that, would you play Jaden Daniels the rest of the season if he comes back in 5 weeks? Like if he comes back healthy, 100%, legs, no knee problems, no hamstring, dislocation is better because it wasn't on his throwing arm. Would you play him in the rest of the 2025 season just the way it's been going?
I mean, I guess it depends on what Mariota can do for you. If he can get y'all into some last
magical run
that he wins out. I mean, he doesn't have anybody to look over his shoulders, to know they're coming in. So I feel like if Mariota can, turn back the clock, I mean, I feel like he's potentially. He's a good quarterback. I mean, he's not a starting material anymore, but I feel like he can come in and potentially get y'all a couple wins at least. I mean, if y'all can win out these while he's gone and at that 5th week mark or whatever, and you guys went 5-0, I feel like play him. I mean, because you're in the playoff hunt at that point potentially. So, but I don't know. It depends on how bad that injury is. It's not on his throwing arm, so that's a good thing. I don't think it is. Anyway.
He still has to show all range of motion, no pain, and all that stuff. So if there's no ligament damage, he's and he has to come back in 5 weeks or whatever it is. I think that it's a tough one. I mean, because obviously you want to see him play, but I think that if there's no hope for the season, which I don't think there will be, I think that I'm benching him the rest of the season. He's going to be pissed off about it because he's a competitor and he's a player. I don't think you risk any kind of potential injury after this one, the way this season has gone, especially if you don't have your full complement of players. And with the injuries that we have, if Terry McLaurin is not back, and if we still have these same kind of crazy injuries over the next 5 weeks when he's out or 6 weeks when he's out. And, Herm Edwards was on ESPN that night, and he said that, he coached Jaden Daniels. And he says, knowing Jaden Daniels did not want to come out of the game during that time period, even though getting beat. He wanted to stay on there with his guys all the way through. But he said that that's not Jaden Daniels' decision to make. That's Coach Quinn's decision to make. And Coach Quinn has to say, hey, we need to get him out the game stat, like right now. There's no reason for us to keep him in the game. We got to look for his future and look out for the best interest of the team and not and the best interest of him. So that's what Herm Edwards kind of said too. He said, I know he's going to want to play.
Yeah, but Quinn, he's a player's coach and he likes to, play to the players and stuff like that. I mean, that's where he kind of messed up at because he when you got your top quarterback, your best player on your team, you can't be doing that. You got to, make an executive decision and get him out of there. I mean, it's good in we can say this in hindsight, say this afterwards, but
It's crazy to talk about that. But you know, we had other games too. You know, the Dallas Cowboys, Arizona Cardinals 27, Dallas Cowboys 17, last night, and we, you know, they went out there and basically the Arizona Cardinals put a spanking on the Dallas Cowboys. And I think last week, Tony, you were of the mindset that, hey, Cardinals ain't got no chance. They don't have any chance. But what people don't realize is that the 5 losses that the Cardinals have had, I think it was a combined total of 13 points.
Yeah.
Right. And, you know, and the crazy thing is that, as I always say, I live close to the Cardinals camp, 15 minutes from the house. And I kind of keep one little eye over there watching the Cardinals, and that their games have been really, really close this year. And you got to remember, the NFC West is very strong. It's a very strong division. And so the Arizona Cardinals, they build their team to beat their division, to beat San Fran, to beat the Rams, to beat the Seattle Seahawks, which are all playoff teams right now, right? So they build their team in that structure. And when you don't see a team all the time, which the Cowboys don't always see Arizona, maybe once every other year, once every couple of years, then you know, Cowboys thought that, man, we're going to wreck them. We're at home. We average like 38 points a game at home, and we play well. We can outscore them, but they was not compared to what that defense was going to do last night to Dak Prescott. I mean, it was just an amazing show. And then you got, you know, the Jacoby Brissett thing now going on too with the Arizona Cardinals. He's looked good the last couple of games, and even though Kyler Murray to me was a late scratch, I think he might have been a healthy scratch in this game, which is even more troubling. They have some quarterback potential things going on in Arizona. But what do you think now that you saw Arizona going to beat the Cowboys, and we know the Cowboys made some big moves defensively today? Do you think the moves that the Cowboys made today is going, as bad as that defense has been, do you think it's going to make a difference this, you know, kind of mid-season here?
I think it'll make it. It'll make a difference. I feel like because they got some D-line help. You know, I think that's where they're most lacking. I think they're missing somebody that can get to the quarterback. They couldn't, because when you have your defensive tackles, your DNs, they can't get to the quarterback. He has too much time back there, so it makes the DBs have to, you know, run around a lot to then, you know, players come open and stuff like that, and they get tired. If you can't get pressure on the quarterback, then, you know, you can't. Your defense is going to be, you know, I don't want to curse, but it's going to be poo-poo.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Bland, you know, he gave up that touchdown there to Marvin Harrison Jr. And he just got, I mean, he got, it was bad. It was a bad touchdown he gave up.
Yeah.
So I think that the Dallas Cowboys have more than just one issue on defense. I mean, the D-line is one thing, but that back end and the linebacking core and that lack of edge rush is going to be a problem, even though they made some big moves today.
Yeah, and I mean, I feel like the Arizona team, they actually came to play. They brought their lunch pail, and like Brissett. I mean, I said this to somebody, and not you on the podcast, but I said it to somebody. Don't be surprised with Brissett, because he's a traditional quarterback. When you got Kyler Murray, that he's more of a runner to me when he's playing quarterback. He doesn't really look at the full scope of passing most of the time. I feel like Brissett bringing a actual quarterback mind, or like a veteran quarterback like him. He's played in, you know, New England. He's played with the Browns. He played with
Washington.
He has a lot of experience. So it's like he's seen a lot of different things. And I mean, when you got a receiving core like they have, it's, you know, you got Marvin Harrison, you got the tight end there. I mean, they need somebody. Those guys need a quarterback that's going to get them the ball, because they can produce. And it showed. I mean, once you have a quarterback that can actually throw the ball and not looking to pass every time, then it's going to open up everything for the offense. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen to Kyler Murray. I thought he's going to get traded after.
I was thinking traded too,
because he, like you said, he was a healthy scratch, because they said he could have played, but he didn't play. So I think they were trying to deal him, but nothing came out of it.
No takers. But I mean, now you look at this scenario here. All right, I'll give you a scenario. All right, you know, that came through today. Jacoby Brissett will start Week 10 for the Arizona Cardinals, and this is a surprising development, right? Because I think Kyler Murray is ready to play, but then when you start hearing all the players talk glowingly, and I mean give a long soliloquy about how Jacoby Brissett is in the locker room, how much time he studies, and all this and all that. And you get the feeling that the players are kind of lobbying publicly to have Jacoby Brissett start. So we get this alert today that Jacoby Brissett is going to be starting for the Arizona Cardinals. Now, I'm one that believe that Jacoby Brissett is not a starter. We have seen Jacoby Brissett as a starter, and he was really up and down, right? He's been in the league for what, 10 years? He's been up and down. So do you think that do you take your chances now if you're Gannon to start Jacoby Brissett the rest of the year, even if Kyler Murray is healthy? I'm going to tell you what I think. Heck no. I think you get Kyler Murray back in there and you let him play. He's your starter. You gave him a contract extension. You have he's healthy. You put him in there. He's more dynamic. And Kyler Murray has played well in certain situations, right? And is this a situation, do you think that they're just going with a hot hand, or do you just think that they just need a change and that Kyler Murray is probably going to be looking for a job at some point down the road?
Well, it's definitely they're going with the hot hand. You have to in this situation because I feel like they're really getting tired of Kyler Murray, I think, because remember back in, I think it was a couple years ago or last year, whatever, where they said he wasn't studying properly. They said he wasn't studying that came out a while back. And then you hearing the teammates saying they're praising Jacoby for, studying and all this stuff. So they're if you heard that, that's something that's that they're thinking about Kyler Murray. I feel like they feel like he's not studying properly. So that's why he's just getting the ball and running because he doesn't really know where everybody's supposed to be. I don't know if that's true or not, but I'm not going to speculate. But it just seemed like there's a story there. But I feel like with Jacoby Brissett, I feel like it depends on what team he's on. Like the thing about it is when you say, you've seen him play as a starter and stuff like that, but every team, when he played with the Browns, it's the Browns, you know what I'm saying? Like it depends on the scheme and who's the offensive coordinator and stuff like that. But when he played for the New England Patriots, he came in for Brady that one time. He played really good. He had he played really good. So I mean, I feel like it depends on what scheme and what coach trusts him to run the offense. I mean, I feel like they trust him in it, and he has his teammates lobbying for him. So that's a good thing too. Yeah.
So I mean, he has, right now we'll see how that develops, but that has a chance on being crazy. We saw the Baltimore Ravens on Thursday night, and they went into Miami 28-6, and that kind of started off this crazy weekend ride that we had in the NFL. And we saw Lamar Jackson playing, and how he came back and he looked really, really good. And Miami Dolphins are done, right? We know the Miami Dolphins are done. We thought after they went into Atlanta and beat the Falcons that they were going to put up a better fight, but they went right back. They reverted right back into who we thought they were. And Lamar Jackson reminded us who we know he is, right? Yeah. Two-time MVP, and all of a sudden the team is like really vibing. And the Pittsburgh Steelers got a big win this weekend too against the Colts, which they really needed. But Lamar Jackson, seeing him on Thursday night and seeing how he operated, coming back off an injury, do you believe now that this is the momentum that they really needed to get themselves on track and start to really go after this division?
Yeah, I mean, like we said, or like I said in the last podcast, it's because if they brought Roquan Smith came back, he had 12 total tackles, 9 solo. So they have their anchor on the defensive side back. So I feel like he was gone. Like those games they were losing, like he was injured and stuff like that. So I feel like him coming back into the fold, and plus they're playing the Miami Dolphins too. We still have to hold some of that reservation too. So, but I feel like Lamar Jackson, like you said, brought his A game, against he did what he was supposed to do against a
Yeah,
sorry team, sorry
yeah, he
defense. And
did.
then Tua couldn't even Tua. I mean, he was all over the place. I mean, that team just on the offensive side couldn't do anything. So I mean, I can't really say much about the Miami Dolphins, but the Baltimore Ravens, I feel like they're back. I feel
Yeah,
like as long as they stay steady and you don't have Henry fumbling the ball and stuff like that, you can get because he's going to start getting the ball a lot more once it gets cold. They take the air out of the ball. They're going to run the ball a lot more, and it's going to be less passing. So hopefully Jackson can stay healthy during this stretch because he's going to have to run too. So
yeah. I mean, if your Cleveland Browns aren't going to do it, I would like to see Baltimore kind of go a little bit further, because of Lamar Jackson. I really like him as a player, and it'll be an amazing comeback if he gets himself in the playoffs, and they're going to be dangerous. But the Pittsburgh Steelers,
I was going to say I would rather see Pittsburgh Steelers only because they took our team to Baltimore and Pittsburgh helped us get our team back. So
oh
I
my
have
God.
more reservation for Steelers right now only.
So you like Pittsburgh better than Baltimore just because
Right
of
now,
that?
yeah.
Just because of that. I mean, so staying in the division, right? Pittsburgh 27-20 win over the Colts, and this really wasn't a shocker for me because I always felt that at some point the Colts might come back down to earth, and Daniel Jones might come back down to earth. You've got them going into Pittsburgh, as you say, Tony. They're the dome people. They got to go outside and play, and it's cold in Pittsburgh in late October, early November. And I mean, Daniel Jones was just he was the old Daniel Jones that we thought that might show back up, not the one that's everybody's been shouting from the mountaintops, MVP, MVP. This guy was Denny Dimes. He was Denny Dimes again, and it was just a big win for the Steelers with all the turnovers and things that they created. Pittsburgh came ready to play.
Yeah, he was when he's winning, he's Indiana Jones, but when he's losing, he Danny Dimes.
Ooh, ooh.
But the issue was, I feel like they went away from Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor only got 14 carries. Like you have to go with the person that got you the hot hand that's been winning you games and just killing everybody. You can't and the Steelers. You can't tell me the Steelers stopped him that much where you had to stop going to him. I mean, they weren't winning by that much where they had to pass that much, but it felt like they tried because he threw 50 times. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
You threw 50 times and had 3 picks. You showed, you can't when you have a running back like Jonathan Taylor, you have to, run with him. You can't try to put it on the shoulders of Daniel Jones 50 times. That's crazy to me. I just can't get past that stat, looking at that stat and just watching the game. Because they knew what he was doing because it seemed like he just kept throwing it to him. I'm like, what are you doing, dude?
But the 3 picks, 2 fumbles lost, sacked 5 times. I mean, this was just an all around, beatdown. I mean, and then we see this, and sometimes it takes games like this for teams to it's a copycat league, right? Teams are going to take that tape from the Pittsburgh Steelers defense, and they might not have the same personnel, but they're going to try to mimic all the things that Pittsburgh did, and now try to play that same type of game. Now, is it realistic that a team's going to get 3 picks from him and 2 fumbles? No, but they might not need that to win. Some teams, if they can get 2 picks and things of that nature, that's all they need to win. So I think the Colts now have to really be careful coming up this week because you're going to start to see teams trying to play them like the Pittsburgh Steelers did. And that's the last thing you want is for Danny Dimes to show up and not Indiana Jones to show up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of crazy all the way around. And so, yeah. So, the other game that was out there this week was you had the big 4:00 game, Kansas City Chiefs at the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills won 28-21, but it didn't really seem that close when you really thought about it. And I know last week, you and Dan, y'all were picking Kansas City Chiefs, right? And I said, no, I
Yeah.
said Buffalo Bills are going to win this game because Buffalo needed more, and Buffalo had coming off a bye week, right? And and then Kansas City Chiefs had a short week. It's like the NFL knows what they're doing with these games. You get a short week, and then you get a team coming off a bye week. That's not a good setup for. And then that Buffalo dominates the regular season series with the Kansas City Chiefs since 2020, but the Chiefs always beat them in the playoffs during the same season. So I kind of threw that into effect too. But I mean, the Buffalo Bills look fantastic.
Yeah, the Buffalo Bills surprised me. I had I don't know what, because I have Mahomes in my fantasy league, and I was surprised on how he played. I mean, their DBs are really good. They stop the passing game really well. The running game, I thought the running game would actually pick up, but they didn't do much to me anyway. I feel like all around Buffalo, like you said, playing in Buffalo is not that easy. If they played in Kansas City, it would have been a totally different story to me. But the thing about it is, we're gonna go back to this. You can have all this practice, this practice wins in a season, but when it comes to the playoffs, we know who's gonna smack that butt, put belt to ass, like they say.
Yeah, absolutely.
The Kansas City Chiefs and Mahomes, they're gonna be ready for the playoffs. So that's all that really matters. I'm not even a Chiefs fan. I'm a Browns fan, true Browns fan, loyal to my soil for 45 years. But that boy, my homeboy. My homeboy is my homeboy.
That's funny, yeah. And so, I hate to keep bringing this up to you week after week, and we had another game in Ohio, even though your Cleveland Browns didn't play, and that was the Chicago Bears getting the last second win, 47-42 over the Bengals, which was an outrageous game, by the way. I mean, the last 5 minutes, it must have been 21 or 28 points scored in the last 5 minutes of this football game. So nobody was playing defense. And the Chicago Bears pulled it out. But your former quarterback with the Browns this year, who played, 4 games with you guys, right? Was it 4 games he played with you guys? Joe Flacco. And then we're going to start having to call him the ageless wonder now, right? 31-47, 470 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions, 470 yards passing. And this guy has his throwing shoulder is hurt. Mm-hmm. I mean, do you want him back too? Like you want Baker back? Do you want him back too?
No, I mean, I can't. I'm not that kind of fan that's going to be like trying to get everybody back once they do good. I just feel like he has better.
Back. Don't say that. You want Baker back. You want Baker back.
Baker, that's different. I mean, we saw what Flacco did with us, though. But also, it's not. I can humbly say that it's not all on the quarterback, because our scheme is terrible. Our coach gave up his duties to Tommy Rees now. So this is the second time he did it in back-to-back years. So it's probably time to get you out of here if you got to keep giving up your duties. So
yeah, because I digress. But I feel like even though Flacco had his great game, all kudos to him. But 22 points, 470 yards. Look at the caption.
But you can go have all those good. You can have that good game, but did you win? No, because of the defense. I bet he wished he had the Browns defense.
It wasn't Flacco's fault.
I know. It wasn't. I give it to Flacco, but at the end of the day, you have to win. But because he had a turnover, he had 2 turnovers, so he played a part in it a little bit. Because if he wouldn't have made any of those turnovers, they would have won the game.
Come on, man! With a minute left in the game, and the defense gives up, you go down and score, which is the game-winning drive, and then the defense turns around and with less than a minute left, gives up a 53-yard pass from Caleb Williams to the tight end, the rookie tight end that ran 53. Got sandwiched between 2 players, bounced off of them, and ran 53 yards for a touchdown. That's totally outrageous. The defense, the I mean, there's turmoil going on right now because the offense is starting to blame the defense now, and that's something that you don't want to do. But man, Joe Flacco, kudos to you, buddy. I mean, I got to give you some flowers to do this at what 39 years old with a bad shoulder, and the Cleveland Browns ran you out of town to a divisional rival, and this is what you did. Yo, hats off, sir. Hats off.
Yeah, he balled out. I can't take it from
Yeah,
him.
I mean, it was amazing. So, we're up against our first break, and when we come back, we'll start previewing the Week 10 games. Um, but we'll take a quick break, and we'll be right back. The Chasing the Highlights podcast. My name is Lonnie Washington, and I'm here with Tony Robinson. He's in Texas, and I'm in Arizona. We just talked about, for the last half hour, I talked about what happened in Week 9, but we got to move forward to the Week 10 matchups. And, and one thing I do have to say is that the Philadelphia Eagles on Monday night is traveling to the Green Bay Packers, and the Green Bay Packers had a really bad loss this week against the Carolina Panthers at home. I mean, the Carolina Panthers went into Lambeau Field and won that game. All right, 16-13, I believe, right? And so now you have the Eagles who coming off a week off, everybody getting healthy. They're traveling to Lambeau Field on Monday night. And the Packers are going to be without their best player, right? Their best player is not going to be there. And I don't know what to think about this game. I think the Eagles are going to go in there and exert their dominance. But I think the Packers, want some redemption. I think this could be a redemption game for the Packers. They're better than what they showed, but they're going to definitely be without their tight end. He's got a torn ACL. And so who's going to pick up the pace for the Packers? The Eagles are going to be ready. I think they're running game. If Barkley plays, I don't know if Barkley's going to play because he had some growing or some hamstring stuff going on a couple of weeks ago. But we know AJ Brown's going to be back, right? Even though he had the hamstring, I think he's going to be playing in this game. So Tony, what do you think about this game? Looking forward, it's the premier game I think of the weekend, and I'm excited to see it on Monday night.
Yeah, it should be a good game. I just feel like playing in Lambeau.
Yep.
I still think the Eagles got this game because it's just that the dynamic of it depends if Saquon comes back for me though, but I feel like they could. I don't know because Brown. It's kind of hard to pick this game because we don't know who's going to be playing. I mean, I guess we'll find out once that time comes. But I feel like with Kraft out, I feel like that's going to be hard for their defense or for their offense to the offense to rebound from that. I feel like I guess they're gonna have to get it to their wide receivers and then get it to the running game has to pick up to slack on a passing game too. But I feel like they could probably win this game at home potentially. Now that I think about it, if Saquon's not there, they have Brown has an injury and they got Smith with he's out on let me see, he has a IR or a tricep. That's the linebacker anyway. I'm looking at it here. I don't know. It's tough. If AJ Brown with the hamstring, he's been dealing with that all season so far. I feel like AJ Brown hasn't been the same, so I got Green Bay. It's a long story short.
But, Parsons, he didn't have any pressures the last game. First time in his career, he had 0 pressures in the Panthers game. And you're paying this guy $47 million a year, and he didn't have any pressures at all against the Carolina Panthers at home last week. What's going on with Michael Parsons? And I mean, is he going to have 2 games like that though? I mean, I don't know, man. It's crazy.
Well, the thing about it is the Carolina Panthers are flying under the radar. People are the whole season they've been downplaying this team. I downplayed them because in fantasy I'm like picking everybody that's playing them, and they showing us a totally different team. They won 5 games now, so it's like they're above 500. I mean they finding ways to win. Defense is stepping up.
They beat the Falcons 37-0.
Yeah,
and people was like, wow, that's a fluke. So I think that, and they played the Patriots hard too, I believe. So I think that I think this is going to be the premier game of the week, and I'm excited to see that one. That's one that I'm going to be ready with the popcorn. So you also have the New England Patriots, the 7-2 New England Patriots traveling to the 6-2 Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and your buddy Baker Mayfield is there, right? And they're coming off a bye week also, but the Patriots are hot. Now, last week on the show, everybody was saying that they were going to be running away. The Patriots are going to be running away from the Atlanta Falcons. They're going to run away with the Atlanta Falcons, right? And that just did not happen. They barely won that game, okay? And some games are harder than others, and I realized that. But the Atlanta Falcons gave the Patriots all they could handle. Now they travel and they go down to play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And now I think this is a pivotal point in the season for the Patriots. And the reason why is because they've had all these teams that had losing records that they've beaten. Now they step up in class and weight class. Now they're playing Tampa Bay and that defense, and Tampa Bay is getting a little bit healthier. And they had a week off, and Baker Mayfield is also a hot quarterback too. So in this game, I'm picking Tampa Bay. And Dan, that was on our show last week, he said this is one of the games the Patriots were going to lose. And I told him, I says, man, why are you putting a bad juju on your team? Right? He says, no, I'm realistic, and I think this is one that they're going to lose. He also did say that they were going to be losing to Buffalo too, in the rematch coming down the line here. But is he right, Tony, that the Patriots are going to probably lose this game?
They'll lose the game if they continue to just lean on the quarterback play. They need to get the running game going too. I feel like it's not balanced enough for me when I watch the games. I feel like Travion Henderson is not getting the ball as much as he should.
He definitely should be getting the ball more.
He should be getting the ball a lot more, because when you got your other running back down, you gotta let him do his thing. But I mean, I feel like they're not bringing him along fast enough for me. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because I'm an Ohio State Buckeye fan.
Maybe they've been saving them for this time, this type of year too, because they lost Antonio Gibson for the year, and they kind of had Henderson stashed back and just doing special teams. And so now that things are starting to get cold and the weather is going to be dictate to run the ball, they don't have to worry about that going down to Tampa. But maybe this is his time.
But I just worry about him, not being. I mean, he's a pro, so he's going to play. He's going to do well in this game. But I feel like Tampa Bay is going to win this game because Baker and how their defense plays. They play pretty well on defense, and I don't know. New England still hasn't shown me a lot. I mean, I like how they look on paper, but it's just they don't. For me, they're kind of boring to me a little bit. I mean, they beat the Browns, but they still, for me, I don't know, because they're hit and miss every week. Like, there's no way you can go do the Browns the way they did, then go, lay an egg, almost. I don't know. It's just against Atlanta. Like, come on, man, you gotta take that. So,
I mean, I'm looking forward to this game too, and I know Dan has said that they were going to lose, but he's hoping he's wrong. But I think that this is going to be a good game. I would like to see the Patriots win, to be honest with you. I would like to see Drake May go in here and get a signature win against them. They got a signature win in Buffalo. So remember, they went into Buffalo and they beat Buffalo. So this would be just another signature win that Drake May has on his resume. So we got to keep it going. You have Baltimore going to play the Vikings this week. Lamar Jackson and the Ravens look to win their third straight game and to stay on track. And with the Vikings coming off the surprising upset at Detroit, and nobody saw that coming at all. I mean, I think they were like 9.5 point underdog in that game, and now all of a sudden you got them winning that game and getting the upset. I mean, it was an ugly win, but I mean, they went in there which is hard to do, and beat Detroit in Detroit. And these divisional games can go either way. But now you've got Lamar Jackson going into Minnesota, and so the Minnesota's got a pretty good defense too. So we're going to really see if the Baltimore Ravens can win their third game and get themselves back on track. But JJ McCarthy, he just does enough to win. I noticed that last week his stats weren't great, but he made enough throws when time came to make the throws. He made the play, and he even did this in high school. He did this in college. Doesn't always look pretty, but he just does enough to get by, and that's what we saw last week against Detroit. Is that going to be enough? Do you think he needs to play better this week in order to beat the Baltimore Ravens coming into town on a two-game winning streak?
Well, I mean, I feel like they don't. They're actually playing them the way they should, because he's only passing like 25 attempts a game, and I feel like he managed the game properly. Because if he started throwing I think if he'd have gotten into like the 30s and 40s attempts, he'd
get at least 30, 35 attempts, though, I think.
Yeah. Against Lamar Jackson, against this next game, they have to. But I feel like the defense did enough to slow down the Detroit, so they didn't have to score as much. So once the game script changed, they can just run the ball and like just run the clock out.
Complimentary football, that's what we say. Complimentary football. The defenses in Minnesota's pretty good. They're leaning on the defense to help the young quarterback. He doesn't have to do much. They're leaning on the running game a little bit, and you got Justin Jefferson, Addison, and Hawkinson there, right? So it's like one of those things to where you're trying to play complimentary football to help the young player out. But I think he's that was his first game back after missing 5 weeks. So now you say, okay, we need to do more now. This is the Ravens. They're coming in. They're so I don't know if you follow the same script as you did against Detroit with the Ravens, but you're going to need to see more from McCarthy to win this game.
Yeah, I'm sure they're gonna have to. It's probably gonna be a shootout if he throws more than he's gonna have to throw more against the Lamar Jacksons, and I feel like their defense is gonna be a lot better. So I feel like they're gonna have to throw the ball a lot more later on in the game, maybe in garbage time to try to come back. But when you got Jefferson over there, receiver, I mean, just throw that thing up. I mean, you got the other receiver too. Forgot his name. His name is slipping away from me. Jordan Addison. You got Addison, and then you got the tight end. So you got a lot of pieces that he's going to be able to stand get behind and and they're going to be there for him. I feel it's just the defense is really solid with that. The way the defense plays, I feel like that's what any young quarterback needs to actually be really good. So besides the Browns, of course.
All right. Good segue here. Speaking of the Browns, they go the 2-6 Cleveland Browns. They go play the New York Jets, who had a sell-off today. Trading Sauce Gardner, and I mean it's just crazy. So Cleveland Browns have a chance to go into New York and possibly win this game. We're back talking about Cleveland again after not really talking about it in the last segment, but we got to talk about them now. So they weren't traders. They didn't trade away their whole house and get rid of and get draft picks today. I don't know why. They got a lot of players in Joku and a whole bunch of players there that they could have gotten rid of, but they're not selling off, and I don't know why. Can the Cleveland Browns go and beat the Jets this week? I mean, Tony, if they can't beat the Jets, with the sell-off that the Jets just did, I'm not quite sure about the Cleveland Browns.
Well, the defense is going to show up. We know that. Usually they show up, but if this is what I'm going to say. If Dylan Gabriel doesn't do well in the first half against this team, this defense that's depleted now, you got two of your best defensive players gone now. If Dylan Gabriel can't play well against this team, I said this about the Miami game. If he can't play well against this Jets team, this Jets defense, Shador should be coming in the second half. Like I can't.
Who's the number two quarterback?
Yeah, we know who it is, but he should be. He should be if Shador is playing, if he's suited up, he should be coming in the second half. Like I don't care about Zappy.
Have they named the number two quarterback this week yet?
I haven't seen nothing yet.
Okay, so so when you bring up Shador, we got to remember
he's coming off an injury.
He's third string. But he didn't look like he was hurt when he was going to visit his father in Colorado, and they did the son-father walk and got their bricks beat out of him this weekend. He didn't look like he was laboring there. I mean, they just fabricating this injury because he went into his dad's office and he surprised his pops, and they looked like he was having a good time. He didn't say, "Oh, my back," and he was walking, did the father-son walk like they used to do at Colorado.
Well, he's not just because he went and saw his dad. He hasn't seen his dad since he had all those health scares with, his dad had surgeries and stuff like that. He hasn't seen his dad. Like all the pain, there's no pain that he can be talking about that's going to be bothering him to go hug his dad and do all that stuff on camera because his dad's going through worse stuff. So I don't feel like that's an issue to me, but they said it's a real injury that he had. That's why he had to stay back. Before he said he was going to stay back, but then he actually showed. I think he was just saying that so his dad wouldn't know he was coming.
He was surprised. I mean, I get it. And again, with the Commanders being 3-6, I hope you guys win. Okay, because I need to get draft position now. If we're not getting it up, I need you guys. I need to jump over you guys in the draft so we can get a better player than you guys got because y'all got two number ones this year. Y'all got two number ones coming up in the draft, right? So I'm rooting for the Browns to get 3 or 4 or 5 more wins so we can stay back in the cut and get the draft pick over the Browns.
Well, that leads me to believe why they're not starting Shador or playing Shador is because they're tanking silently, which I've been saying this whole time. I feel like they're tanking. So that's the real so you might not get that because I feel like we're gonna lose the rest of the season.
Yeah. I mean, I hope you guys win 4 straight and that we lose 4 straight and we get the pick just right ahead of you guys. Right, just right ahead of you guys. And so looking at the rest of the schedule, you got the Los Angeles Rams at the San Francisco 49ers. 6-2 Rams at the 6-3 San Francisco 49ers. This division is very, very exciting to watch. And they could have 3 teams making the playoffs in this division. But the Rams going to San Fran. And I'm not sure if Purdy's playing, but I don't know if I would play Purdy. I mean, now that, I might have to go with the hot hand. This is going to be a heck of a game.
Yeah, I mean, I got the Rams winning this one only because that boy Puka back. Puka Nacua, I feel like I think it's going to be a good game, though. And I feel like their linebacker that went out with the season-ending injury is going to be the reason why. I feel like their defense is not the same without him. But they do. I don't know. It's kind of this one is another hard one, but I'm taking the Rams on this one. That's who I have. I can't say anymore. The Rams.
The Rams. I mean, it's kind of hard. I think they're going on the road and that young defense. Right, we've seen the young defense show up for the San Francisco 49ers, even with the injuries that they have. We've seen them show up. This team is very resilient.
Didn't they just trade Ward from their corner?
Ward
didn't Ward just go to the Colts? Because I saw something with a DB from the
We didn't see
Nine.
anything come over the wire, and maybe that's
Let me
something that we
see.
have to look at. But I think that essentially that they have to make sure that, of course, the Rams are going to come in. These teams know each other so well, right? The coaches are kind of disciples from each other too. So well coached teams. But I think the difference is going to be just the defense that the San Francisco 49ers is going to play against the Rams. I think it's going to be crazy. I like San Francisco in this game, and just I think they've showed me. I've been so impressed with Mac Jones and the way he's played through his 5 starts, and I just think that they're so resilient. If they start to get some help back over there in San Fran, they're going to be tough to beat. And because they're playing at home, I give the nod to San Fran slightly. I don't know what the line is in this game, but I give the nod to San Fran.
Shoot, I saw some stuff on the Browns group page and stuff like that. They're talking about they want to get Mac Jones in the offseason. I'm like, oh, here we go. The grass is always green on the other side.
Ooh, I mean, be ready with your checkbook. I think he's going to be $40 million.
Yeah.
I don't think you guys can afford him. Quite frankly, you guys got to have these rookies pan out to keep him on the rookie deal, because you still got that guy lurking in the background, right? The $60 million man lurking in the background.
DW.
I mean, I don't know what you're going to do with him, but he's still lurking in the background. So you're going to have to get him off the books before you start paying $40 million, because that's what Mac Jones is going to actually command in the, he's going to be like a Sam Darnold contract, like Sam Darnold did with the Seattle Seahawks when he had a good season. So I think, it's going to be a good payday for Mac Jones. Other games, you have the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're 5-3. They're traveling to the Los Angeles Chargers. They just lost Joe Alt. The Los Angeles Chargers lost Joe Alt, their All-Pro left tackle. I think he's gone for the season. He had ankle injury, ankle surgery, and so Pittsburgh, man, they're coming. Their defense is coming, and can they take this? I mean, they're like Ringling Brothers and Barney being circus here, and can they take this show on the road and go in and beat the Chargers? And then that's going to be the key game there. I think it's going to be a great game.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It's you don't know what team's going to show up for the Chargers, because like they have the offense, they have the guys to do everything on the offensive side. They have a good defense, but when you get in these games, it's like you see a totally different team every week. To me,
yeah,
it's not consistent, but they're good. They're a good team. They have all the pieces. They have on the receivers. They have the running game is picking up. Got a quarterback that can be potentially an all pro quarterback. In the future, if he keeps playing the way he's playing. But I feel like Steelers. I don't know. I got the Chargers. I'll take the Chargers in this game. Chargers.
Ooh, I think Aaron Rodgers he's man.
They don't have enough on offense to me.
Yeah, I think Aaron Rodgers just does enough to win. He doesn't throw a lot of interceptions. He doesn't make a lot of mistakes. I think that they will try to get after him, the Aaron Rodgers. But man, I like Pittsburgh in this game, and I'm kind of back and forth on this, but I like Pittsburgh in this game, and I think that, man, it's going to be a really good game to watch. So I'm excited. There is some games this weekend that I'm excited to see, but I think Pittsburgh is this one of the games I'm going to keep my eye on too, on this particular game. So I think I like Pittsburgh, going away, winning in this game. Maybe a 4-point game in this game. So also we're looking at just some other little matchups here. You've got the New York Giants going to the Chicago Bears. The Bears got to be careful too. I mean, they barely won against the the Bengals, but New York defense really plays tough, and so the Chicago Bears are 5-3, the Giants are 2-7, and it's probably going nowhere. But these are the games that you have to really be careful of when you're looking at these types of games too. So yeah, that game too. But Caleb Williams, he's looking good. Ben Johnson's got this team scoring a lot of points, although against a bad defense. But you can only play who you play, right? So we'll see in that game.
Yeah.
Also, you've got the Jacksonville Jaguars, 5-3, going to play Houston, Texas, 3-5, and Stroud had a bad concussion last game, and it shouldn't have happened. He went to slide, and the guy hit him. And then when you're giving yourself up, to see that happen in that game was tough, right? Because I thought Houston, had some momentum and things of that nature. But you are what your records say you are, and they are 3-5, and this is a division game. So I think that you got to look at this game and say, man, I think that Jacksonville should win this game. All right, because you got Sam Mills. I think he's the backup quarterback, and we haven't seen him in a long time. 3 or 4 years, about 3 years now, right? Since Deshaun Watson left. But I think but Sam Mills, you give him another week with the starters. I think Sam Mills can make this game pretty interesting, and they're playing in Houston. I don't want to give up on Houston just yet, but I think that I think Jacksonville is going to win this game. They should win this game.
Yeah, Jacksonville should win. They just picked up Jacoby Myers too in a trade. So
yeah,
because Hunter is out with the high ankle sprain. So I got Jacksonville. I mean, but that Texans defense though is I feel like they will have to get some turnovers, and a lot has to happen for the Texans to win. I feel like Jacksonville has this game. They should, but we're going to see what quarterback we're going to get this week, because he's inconsistent too at Jacksonville. So I can't really trust him. So
yeah. You have a bye week. Cincinnati, Dallas, Kansas City, and Tennessee are on a bye week this week. And I believe that the Arizona Cardinals is traveling to the Seattle Seahawks. And if you're looking at that game and saying, wow, they're coming off a big win, and these teams always play tough. You got to, they got Jacoby Brissett going in there in the Seattle, and man, I think the Cardinals are going down this week. I think the Cardinals are going down, and in Seattle, definitely the Cardinals are going down this week. But I don't want to. It could be a close game. It could be a close game.
Divisional game. It could be close. I just see Seattle playing at home, and that crowd. I've been telling you, even though Baker went in and got the win, but I feel like ever since Baker came in and stole that game, I feel like they've been locked in ever since. So they went on the road to this past weekend. So I feel like Seattle, they travel well, and they're gonna come back home and keep this thing going. I feel like Seattle's gonna win this by 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, 2 touchdowns
In a divisional game.
No, I don't think so. I don't think that 2 touchdowns. Come on, man. I don't think that's going to be a realistic thing to get two touchdown win against the. The way the defense played yesterday. They look good.
Well, that's Dallas, though. You know what it is.
Yeah.
With Dallas.
But Dallas got the number 1 offense in the NFL, so they shut down the Dak Prescott. So remember that was the number 1 offense they in the NFL that they shut down. So their defense looked really, really good. Yeah. All right. So we're coming up on the hour here. We're gonna close out the evening, and we're gonna hope your team wins this weekend. And this is from Lonnie Washington and Tony Robinson. This has been Chasing the Highlights. We'll see you next week, everybody.
Come alive, 2 ex-players in the studio, ready to thrive, friends and fans, united with the truth, sharing the passion, yeah, that's our proof. Chasing the highlights, where dreams come alive, 2 ex-players in the studio, ready to thrive, friends and fans. treasure the legends, those who paved our way. In every single chapter, we're here to stay, breaking down plays. Had a